Scientists spent 12 years studying Kepler-22b, and they ended up drawing a terrifying conclusion. This planet might actually be a trap. When NASA announced its discovery in 2011, the whole world cheered, because it was just too perfect. It was orbiting its star at the exact right distance. The temperature was 22 degrees Celsius, or 72 Fahrenheit. It was the right size, and it might even have liquid water. But here's the problem. Such perfect coincidences simply don't exist in the universe. The more astronomers crunched the numbers, the more something felt off. Kepler-22b's orbit, temperature, and size. Every single parameter was precisely dialed into the optimal range for human habitability. The margin of error was ridiculously small. It's like walking into a strange room and finding the chair height, the table size, and the brightness of the light are all perfectly set up exactly to your personal preference. It's unsettling. What's even more terrifying is that scientists still haven't been able to measure its true mass. We don't know if it's a rocky planet, an ocean world, or even what exactly is on its surface. It's like a gift box wrapped in fog. You can see the shape from the outside, but you have no idea if it holds heaven or hell. In 2019, data transmitted back by the Hubble Space Telescope showed the area around Kepler-22b was eerily empty. The sister planets that should have been there were all missing. It just hangs there, all by itself, isolated. Hello everyone, I'm HN. So, what secrets does this planet, 600 light-years away from us, hold? In 2009, the Kepler Space Telescope was launched into space. Its mission was to stare at 150,000 stars, waiting for them to blink. What does blinking mean? It means that when a planet drifts in front of its star, the starlight dims just a tiny, tiny bit, maybe only a few hundredths of a percent. The difficulty of this is equivalent to standing at one end of a football field, staring at a searchlight on the other side, and waiting for a fly to pass by and block the light. The Kepler telescope did this intense staring for over 2 years. And finally, in 2011, it caught a pattern. One star would dim once every 290 days, and the amount of dimming was almost exactly the same every time. Although the planet was found, what truly sent chills down the scientists' spines was the calculation that followed. Kepler-22b's diameter is 2.4 times that of Earth. This number stunned everyone. Why? Because in the field of astronomy, there's a puzzling phenomenon called the planetary size desert or radius gap. Simply put, planets in the universe are either small, like rocky balls such as Earth and Mars, or huge, like gas giants such as Jupiter and Saturn. But in the range of 1.5 to 2.5 times the size of Earth, planets suddenly vanish. Their numbers drop off a cliff. Among the thousands of known planets in the Milky Way, less than 3% fall into this size range. It's like a supermarket only having small and large clothes, but the rack for medium sizes is completely empty. And Kepler-22b happens to be perfectly sized, right in the size that shouldn't exist. 2.4 times, no more, no less. It's smack dab in the middle of the forbidden zone. What's even stranger is that scientists used a supercomputer to simulate the planetary formation process 100,000 times. They were trying to naturally form a habitable planet of this specific size. The result? Not a single success. In every simulation, the planet either shrank into a rocky ball or swelled into a gas giant. It just couldn't produce the exact parameters of Kepler-22b. This is like shaking a set of dice 100,000 times and never rolling a 6. But then someone tells you, there is a 6 in the universe. It genuinely exists. Then there's the orbit. When astronomers measured its orbit, the entire lab fell into a deathly silence. Kepler-22b's orbit is almost a perfectly circular path. You have to understand, nothing in the universe is perfect. Even Earth's orbit has an eccentricity. Mars's is even more pronounced. In a cosmos of gravitational chaos, where all celestial bodies pull at each other, a perfectly circular orbit is like seeing a feather hanging perfectly straight in a Category 5 hurricane. Theoretically, this planet should not even exist, unless some force is continuously correcting its orbit, like an invisible hand, is constantly pushing it back to its predetermined position. The next discovery was even more baffling. Scientists found that the star system where Kepler-22b resides is terrifyingly clean. What should a normal star system look like? It should have gas giant planets acting as bodyguards, asteroid belts serving as moats, comet clouds, and all sorts of space dust and debris. But Kepler-22b's system? There's nothing. It's just this one planet, hanging all alone in the middle of the habitable zone. The space around it is so clean, it looks like it was vacuumed by an industrial cleaner. Some have speculated this doesn't look like a naturally evolved star system. It looks more like a freshly decorated model home. So, what exactly is Kepler-22b? Scientists have proposed several possibilities. The first is a super-Earth, a large rocky ball, enveloped by a thick atmosphere. But there's a fatal flaw here. If the atmosphere is too thick, It will become a hellhole like Venus, with surface temperatures soaring to 400 degrees Celsius. If the atmosphere is too thin, it can't support its 2.4 times Earth's volume, and will collapse into a mere lump of rock. Scientists frantically adjusted the parameters, trying thousands of times, and found only one extremely narrow combination of settings could keep the surface temperature stable at 22 degrees Celsius. The probability of this combination appearing is less than 1 in 100,000. It's like throwing a dart with your eyes closed, 10 times in a row, and hitting the bullseye every single time. The second possibility is even stranger. An ocean planet. Imagine the entire world, completely covered by liquid water, hundreds of kilometers deep, not an inch of land, not a single island. Sounds romantic, right? But here's the problem. No land means no plate tectonics. No plate tectonics means no volcanic eruptions. No volcanoes means no mineral recycling. Without mineral recycling, life could never become complex. It might just be a beautiful blue graveyard, silent for a billion years. But if that were true, why does its density precisely match the model of a rocky core plus a deep water layer? Why is the mass distribution so accurate? So precise it looks like someone drew it using design software? The third hypothesis is that it's a mini Neptune. According to planetary formation theory, gas planets can only form outside the snow line, far away from the star, where the temperature is low enough for water to condense into ice and accrete enough gas. But Kepler-22b is right in the habitable zone. The temperature shouldn't allow a gas giant to form there, unless it was originally in the outer regions, and was later dragged inward by something. What kind of force would that be? Gravitational slingshot? That would make the orbit extremely elliptical. Planetary migration? It's possible, but planetary migration usually leaves a trail of chaos. Moons are torn apart, orbits are disturbed, and space debris is scattered everywhere. But Kepler-22b's vicinity is so clean, it's like nothing ever happened. Some scientists have proposed a chilling possibility. Maybe it didn't migrate naturally, but was precisely moved into this position by someone. The craziest is the fourth theory, a multi-layer hybrid structure. A rocky core wrapped in a layer of liquid water, the water layer wrapped in high-pressure ice, and the ice layer covered by a gaseous atmosphere. This structure could theoretically exist, but the initial conditions would need to be accurate to 8 decimal places. The total amount of water can't be 0.1% more, or 0.1% less. The atmospheric pressure must precisely match. The star's radiation output must be perfectly stable, within a specific range. It's like being asked to drive a car on the highway, with your eyes closed, and travel 100 kilometers without deviating by more than 1 centimeter. How low is that probability? It's roughly equal to winning the lottery jackpot 10 times in a row. But what keeps scientists up at night is not this single anomaly, but the suffocating precision you feel when you list all the just rights. The volume is exactly 2.4 times Earth, not 2.3 or 2.5. The temperature is exactly 22 degrees Celsius, not 21 or 23. The orbital period is 290 days, which is exactly 79.5% of an Earth year. The stellar luminosity is exactly 97% of the Sun's. The orbital distance is exactly 0.85 astronomical units. The orbital eccentricity is near perfect zero. 1 parameter coincidence can be called luck. 2, you can say fortunate. 3, a miracle. But 7, 8, or 10 parameters all just right, all falling within that extremely narrow range, most suitable for life to exist. Can this still be called a coincidence? A scientist once conducted a frightening experiment. He asked a supercomputer to randomly generate 10 million planets, to see how many could simultaneously satisfy Kepler-22b's exact characteristics. But the result? It wasn't even 0.1%. It was 0. The computer ran for 3 months, simulating 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution, yet still couldn't generate a single planet with such precisely matching parameters. Some speculate that either our physics is fundamentally wrong, or Kepler-22b is simply not a natural phenomenon. So, was Kepler-22b truly a manufactured planet? If that's the case, the next question is even more terrifying. Who made it? And why? An even bolder guess is that this is a beacon, that some existence, far beyond our civilization, has placed countless such perfect planets throughout the universe. They're specifically designed to test other civilizations' technological level. Only a civilization reaching a certain threshold can spot its anomaly, realize it's not a natural product, and then begin to ponder its meaning. It's like a cosmic entrance exam, and we've only just managed to understand one visual question. There's an even more terrifying possibility. Kepler-22b is simply a trap. It's some kind of cosmic Venus flytrap, using perfect habitable conditions to lure young civilizations to explore. What happens next? We don't know. But one thing is clear. If a planet is too perfect to be real, its purpose is certainly not simple. Maybe it's for collecting data. Maybe it's for filtering targets. Maybe it's for some reason we absolutely cannot comprehend. And the most spine-chilling question is, if Kepler-22b was manufactured, then what about Earth? Our 22-degree average temperature, our 365-day orbital period, our exact position within the habitable zone, our just right-sized moon, stabilizing our rotational axis, our just right magnetic field protecting our atmosphere, our just right plate tectonics recycling our matter. Don't we have too many just rights ourselves? As we stare at Kepler-22b, is something else, from a much greater distance, staring back at us? Now you understand why the more scientists study this planet, the more terrified they become, because Kepler-22b is like a mirror. It not only shows us the mystery of the universe, but it also makes us start to doubt our own reality. Maybe our understanding of planets is too narrow. Maybe the universe has evolutionary laws we don't grasp, but maybe some truths are much more complex and much scarier than we can imagine. That planet 600 light years away may never give us the answer, but it has already posed the question, and that question is enough to keep humanity awake for many, many years.